Welcome to this month's edition of Focus on Health. I'm your host, Dr. Barbara Brookmeyer, and today we'll be talking about vaccination, specifically influenza vaccination, and is it too late to vaccinate? And our special guest is Kelly Smith, one of our nurses in our immunization clinics here at the Frederick County Health Department. Kelly, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's good to be here, and I know we're here every year, the same thing usually, but I think this year is some interesting aspects on the flu this year.
Okay. So what can people do to prevent influenza?
Well, I'm going to say the number one thing is get your flu vaccine. It's not too late, and that's why we always come in here. I know this is airing in February, so it is still not too late to get vaccine. We will actually give vaccine up until probably about May. We could give it up to May. Flu actually will peak, and I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but flu will actually peak anywhere between, flu season actually runs between, it can run October till usually up to May. They'll keep checking that. But usually we'll peak sometime around January and February. The number one problem is flu vaccine will be very helpful to get. That's the first thing to do. The second thing is wash your hands. Wash your hands all the time. Here I am sitting and doing this with my eyes and my glasses. My glasses. I know it's hard when you wear glasses. Try not to touch your face with your hands, your mouth, your nose, your eyes, without washing your hands, especially before you're eating, because that's the biggest reservoir of the flu. When you're coughing, we always say cough etiquette. Coughing, if you can't grab your sleeve in time, of course, if you have a tissue, grab that, throw it away right away. And after using a tissue, I know we talked about that, after using a tissue, wash your hands. That's your biggest culprit, our hands. And certainly the hand sanitizers are great, but if you can use the hand sanitizers, great, use them, but hand washing is the number one thing, as well as flu vaccine.
Great, thank you. Yes, and so that's good that you mentioned. Oh, seeing you're just.
I know. See,
it's so common to be done.
It is very common.
So if you didn't just wash your hands, potentially, if you press the elevator button on your way here, put your hand on a doorknob or a handrail.
Right.
If that still had living, sorry to tell you,
I know.
I guess you know it, but if it had living virus on it, you've potentially just inoculated yourself.
Yeah.
So I hope that's not the case for you. We'll continue with the show.
Get my flu vaccine.
Yes. Well, let's talk about the flu vaccine effectiveness, because that's been in the news a lot this year, and it's been something I know you've been tracking.
Yes, that is what we do track. It's widespread right now. 47 states have had flu that's been tracked. So I'm sure all 50 states probably will at some point in time, but it usually works its way east. So we are seeing the most of it right now. And I know a lot of people are very concerned, and I hear that's one of the big things. I'm not going to get a flu vaccine. Why should I? Because it wasn't a good flu match. Well, it wasn't. It wasn't a great flu match. But what happens is, and I can just tell you a little bit about that, and this might be interesting to other folks. I know we know that, but every March we usually have a group of folks, advisory committee people that get together, and they actually get together here in Maryland. They get together in March and they decide, what are we going to make for flu vaccine this year for the next season? It's very difficult to tell. So last March they all got together. They always vote on 2As and 2Bs, and that's what they put together. And after much deliberation, after checking to see what have been the outbreaks, after seeing what has been the predominant strains, they finally come together. They also look at the southern hemisphere of the world to see what else is circulating now or even later on. So they put all that together, they come up, they vote, and they decide this is going to be the best 2As and 2Bs that they can put together. So now if you can think about them doing that last March to think this is what we have, what happened is there's an H3N2 strain, and I know that doesn't mean a lot to folks, but it does mean that that's one of the strains that they put for this vaccine that you and I are getting this year. When they put that together, there was the virus, the flu virus is very, very smart, extremely smart, and I think that's probably the biggest upset for all of us. We can never get an exact match, ever. It's very smart, and it mutates. So it drifts. Just a little bit of a change for other people to hear that it doesn't match. It matches, but it changes just a slight amount. When it changes just that slight amount, the flu vaccine won't be 100% effective. It isn't usually 100% effective, but it's about 65% effective for everybody. There are a lot of folks that can't get the flu vaccine, so that's why you and I get it, as well as everybody that can get it, because it's what we call a herd effect. We protect those people that can't. So that little bit of a shift, that little bit of a drift, made a lot of people say, it's not good, I'm not going to get it. It's not the case. CDC actually, a couple weeks ago, have actually made a statement that they would like everybody, if they come in contact, one, with flu and show any kind of symptoms, they would like them to start with what we call anti-flu medications. Antivirals is what another word is called. Tamiflu, we hear a lot about Tamiflu. We hear a little bit less than that with Influenza. But Tamiflu can be given a pill or liquid, and that seems to be the popular one that we're talking about. And they're stating that if you can get that started within the first 2 days of either coming in contact with somebody that you know has flu, or you know you have flu symptoms, that it can lessen the severity of flu. Problem being is there's a lot of doctors that decided that they're going to test first, and if they test first, that flu may not always show up. Even though 5 other people in the family have definite flu symptoms, they're saying, CDC is stating, don't test, just go ahead and give it to them. I understand that some of the side effects are some nausea and vomiting and some dizziness with that, I've heard, but it does lessen the severity of it, and I think it's pretty important to get that started right away.
So how about the vaccine? Where can people go to get flu vaccine? Is there any issue with that in Frederick?
There isn't any issue. I know flu vaccine has been available at a lot of the pharmacies, local doctors, a lot of the big chains have them. We do offer flu vaccine as well for children, but we try to offer that and get that information out so people do get to their doctors as well too. But there hasn't been any kind of shortage. I know sometimes they talk about shortages. There isn't any shortage at all. But if you have any questions at all about flu, about anything that we can offer, or try to, I know we've had some adults calling, give us a call and we can talk to them, because there's a lot of things we talk about. They ask about preservative-free vaccine. We can talk to them about that. There's flu mist. There's high-dose flu vaccine. So there's a lot of different formulations, a lot of different places that offer different types of vaccines. It's still the flu vaccine, and get that.
So thank you very much, Kelly, for joining us,
You're
and I
welcome.
hope that people heed your advice.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's good to be here. Thanks.
And now please stay tuned for this month's Medical Myths.
Can't get enough Zumba in your life? Sign up for any of our Zumba classes held at all of our rec centers throughout the county, including our new Ballinger Community Building and our new To The Point Dance Studio in Point of Rocks. Come on, join the Zumba craze, and you'll have so much fun you'll forget you're even working out. For more details on scheduling, check out our website at recreator.com.
And now here's this month's Medical Myths. This month, I'll talk about myths related to New Year's resolutions. A common myth related to New Year's resolutions is that they don't work. Well, that is partly true. For all resolutions, if you are committed to taking action and develop a reasonable plan with realistic goals, then you will be more likely to be successful. A common resolution is to exercise more. Well, that is a great goal, but getting started may be overwhelming for someone who has an image of a spandex-wearing muscled person spending hours each night at the gym. Setting realistic goals is key. You may eventually get to that image that you have, but to be successful, you may need to start out with a smaller and more attainable goal, like 5 minutes of fast walking, or 5 minutes at lunch, or going up and down stairs at work. A second common myth that I hear around New Year's is a belief that going on a crash diet will be the best way to get to one's target weight. It's natural for anyone trying to lose weight to want to lose it very quickly, but evidence shows that people who lose weight gradually and steadily, that's about 1 to 2 pounds a week, are more successful at keeping the weight off. Healthy weight loss isn't just about a diet or a program. It's about an ongoing lifestyle that includes long-term changes in daily eating and exercise habits. To lose weight, you must use up more calories than you take in. Since 1 pound equals 3,500 calories, you need to reduce your caloric intake by 500 to 1,000 calories per day to lose about 1 to 2 pounds a week. Once you've achieved a healthy weight by relying on healthful eating and physical activity most days of the week, that's about 60 to 90 minutes of moderate intensity, you are more likely to be successful at keeping the weight off over the long term. Losing weight takes more than desire. It takes commitment and a well thought out plan. Here's a step-by-step guide to getting started. Step 1, make a commitment. Step 2, take stock of where you are. Step 3, set realistic goals. Step 4, identify resources for information and support. And then Step 5, continually check in with yourself to monitor your progress. One of the most common myths spread by smokers is that they can't quit. Well, the truth is that many ex-smokers used to believe the same thing. And then they tried, and then they tried and tried until they were eventually able to be smoke-free for longer than they had been smoking. Since 2002, there are more ex-smokers than current smokers. You can be one too. Oh, and for those of you who say, I tried to quit before but just went back to smoking, you are actually in a good position to be successful in the future. The experience that you had works in your favor. You can make your 2015 smoke-free and tobacco-free. There are free classes in Frederick with free nicotine replacement treatment. There is also a free 1-800-QUIT-NOW phone resource and support system, and now there's also a text messaging support system to help you be successful in following through with your resolution to kick the habit. That's this month's Medical Myths.
Hello, this is Amber Nally, health educator with the Frederick County Health Department. This month's health tip is brought to you by the Frederick County Women, Infants, and Children Program, also known as WIC. According to the CDC, children should get at least 60 minutes of physical activity every day, and adults need at least 30 minutes per day. As caregivers, you are the first and most important teacher your child will ever have. By being active as a family, you are helping your child start habits that will help them stay healthy for the rest of their lives. Engaging your child in daily physical activity will help reduce their chances of developing diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and high blood pressure. They will also have a more restful sleep and reduced levels of stress. Your child will have better coordination, flexibility, and strength. Cold or rainy weather offers great ways to have family fun. There are so many things we can do to keep active even when it's cold outdoors. Some of these indoor activities include creating an obstacle course. Kids love to tumble over pillows, crawl through open boxes, and jump into hula hoops. Acting out a story. Read a book together and move to give it action. A good book for this activity is From Head to Toe by Eric Carle. Turn up the music and dance. Freeze dance by dancing while the music is playing, and freeze in place when the music is stopped. Start the music and start dancing again. Take turns creating dance steps and copying each other's dance moves. Act like you're in a marching band. Turn on the music and march around the house while pretending to play musical instruments. If you've had enough indoor play at the house, consider these local resources. Attend story time at one of the Frederick County public libraries. Go to a local indoor playground for children. Participate in some activities offered by Frederick County Parks and Recreation, or head over to your local home improvement store for child-focused activities. WIC is a health and nutrition program for pregnant women, infants, and children up to age 5. For more information about the Frederick County WIC program and eligibility, call 301-600-2507. Thanks for tuning in to this month's health tip.
And thank you for joining us for this month's edition of Focus on Health. Please join us next month.